My people, it's a total disaster on the markets. It's a bloodbath. Everything is red, panic, blood on the streets. Haven't we called for this for a while now? Haven't we talked about that this has to happen? If you have watched our videos, we spoke on the Trump's endgame plan and all of these things. Markets need to reset interest rates, to inset tariffs, to whatever it is. And now the fun begins within a very short while. I would say a couple of days, maybe a couple of weeks, but the fun will begin. And what do I mean with this? Well, if you're part of the Prosperous World community, you know exactly what I mean. But if you don't know, this video is one you don't want to miss, because this will be your game plan for the coming weeks. All right, let's break this all down. Let's go through step by step. Price targets, bottom targets, because this drop is not over. And let's just dive straight into it. All right, so let's look at this. We have red across the board. BTC down about 8% in 24 hours, but then the altcoins range between a couple of percent to about 50%. I saw something had dropped, but most of them at around 15%. And we have the fear and greed index at 17. So there's a lot of fear on the streets. I don't think we're done yet. This is extreme fear, but it can get worse. I'm sad to say, but it can get a lot worse. And I think it will also. All right. But the good news are that once it gets worse, it will actually get a lot better very fast. We have S&P, NAS in this case here actually has dropped 27% since its top. And we're talking about, what is it, like 1 week, 2 weeks? 2 weeks. And we have dropped 12% only during the Asian session, and the start of the Europe session is when I'm recording this video actually right now. So it's a mega drop. This is real recession, market disaster numbers that we have not seen since COVID. So this will be interesting to see how it recovers from here. Then we have right now 1.4 billions in 24 hours that are liquidated, but longs liquidated are 1.2 billion. 1.2 billion longs in 24 hours. Only the last hour we have 5.3 billion longs liquidated, and trust me, there will be more. So if you remember, we spoke on Trump's endgame plan. He has to crash the market to kill inflation, to bring the 10-year bond yield down. We will look at that one right now actually to see if it's coming down. Yeah, and as you can see, 3.9, it's coming down hard. So this is going exactly as planned for Trump. The tariffs is playing in as well. What people don't understand is a transitory inflation. That is not an inflation that will last, or at least that's the theory, all right? So that inflation will transition into the economy, because what they mean is it balances out with the boost that the economy get by production coming into the US, and plus also that the countries that have tariffs imposed on US will lower the tariffs, which will make cheaper import also from these countries. So there's a lot of benefits with these tariffs that people don't understand, and those benefits will be shown soon. Trump and his administration will take the heat for these crashes while more, but they will look like heroes when all of this is over. That's what I truly believe, because their plan is actually excellent, and maybe the only plan that they could run regarding the economy that they got handed over from the Biden administration. Now, what happens when the market tanks, as it does right now? When the indexes tanks, when the US indexes tank, people sell their stocks and run over and buy bonds. This is why the yield is dropping, all right? Now, the next step in this whole process, what will that be? It will, of course, be this here. Federal Reserve Chairman Powell will announce that they will cut interest rates. When exactly that is, we don't know, but I have a sense that we will get some crazy bullish data here in FOMC meetings. Because what is the FOMC meetings? It's in-depth insight into the economic or financial conditions that influence their vote on where to set interest rates. So here now, they will declare basically the data that they are looking at to set the interest rates for May. And regarding what's happening now, they will have to come with some pretty dovish stuff. And after that, the day after that, actually on Thursday, the 10th of April, we have the CPI numbers coming out, core CPI and yearly CPI, unemployment claims coming out as well. This is big. This is going like the CPI numbers have rarely been as important as it is right now. All right, people will be looking for these numbers because the lower the numbers comes out, the more likely it is that the money printer will start go brrr very, very soon. And the day after that, on Friday, the 11th of April, we have PPI numbers. That is also inflation readings. So this week is super important and crucial. I've said it. I think that the bull run will start in the mid of April based on the M2 global liquidity supply that is actually still booming and still taking all-time highs. But I said also that we need a trigger. How long haven't I said this here? We need something that sparks the gasoline because we have an exploding demand of Bitcoin. Countries, governments, central banks know that the economy is fragile, very, very, very fragile. They need something stable to ape into. In the same time, they see what the US is doing, and they don't want to fall behind because they know once they start accumulate, once other countries see what US does and starts to accumulate, the price of Bitcoin will rise. So they need to ape in quickly there before the price rises. And this is why I see Michael Saylor, BlackRock, and all of these institutions just accumulate on a frenzy pace. And now you will see countries starting to do the same. So the demand is insane. It's us retail traders that are falling behind and don't understand shit. We will probably ape in when they start to sell. What I'm saying is that we are reaching a technical bottom for Bitcoin. And a technical bottom for me is around 55K. Why is it exactly around 55K? Because I'm looking at the miner rewards. And if you look at how many wallets, how much Bitcoin is being held by Bitcoin maximalists, and Bitcoin maximalists is wallets that have been holding Bitcoin for like more than 5-6 years. So they have passed one market cycle without selling. And these wallets, including these miner rewards being at around 50K for one Bitcoin, like the market won't come below 50K. You gotta understand that. So we're reaching a technical bottom, and once we reach that level where they want BTC to turn, we don't know where it is. It can be here at 74K, it can be at 73, 72, 69, 67. We will go through the level soon. I will say what my targets are. But once it reaches there, you best believe that the V shape of the recovery, so I'm talking about something like this here, market comes down and then whoop, it's a total V shape, all right? Then we will have a little fake ass crash, a real bear trap actually. And from there you will see a bull market that you have never seen before take place. Because I think once this starts to take off, it will rip faces and people will FOMO insanely. And this is why I do these videos. This is why I say what I say on the community, because I don't want you to be one of those FOMOers like in November or November, December, and October especially. When I warned everybody, when I said XRP is reaching its top, it will have a major correction, and everybody was ridiculing me because they thought that XRP was going to $100 without even having a pullback in between. And now they're crying their faces off because they're in major loss and don't know what to do with their lives. So I don't want to see those messages, DMs, comments again. And this is what I'm saying, and very early on, in a very early stage already, and I'm warning everybody of what's going to happen. It's hard to trade these markets. They are super tricky, super difficult to trade. We can foresee on a bigger scale what's happening. We knew that market would come and take out 74K. It hasn't done actually yet, but I still think it will do it. So I think it came to 74,500. That is just a fake bounce. I think it will come down again. But we knew that would happen. And also, what I've said all the time, this year, BTC minimum 225K for one BTC this year. And I think that it will rip much, much, much higher. But I think we will have several hard corrections along the way. So this bull cycle is very different from the other bull cycles where we've been ripping. I think we're gonna have many corrections along the way. But I think once we go above 200K or something like that, I don't think we will see sub 100K again. So this is what's happening. The plan is playing out perfectly, and it's time for Jerome Powell to put on the printer. The next liquidation level I see, if you see this video before this has happened, is actually 73K, and that we have major liquidity there that needs to be taken out. And that's that. We have the Chinese market also, by the way, that has crashed and has seen its worst day since 2008. So major FUD, but with all that FUD, let's jump into the chart so we know what levels we're looking at and what's happening next. And by the way, I will break down Bitcoin, XRP, Solana, Cardano, SUI, Ethereum, because I know these are the ones that everybody are looking at and asking questions about. So let's look at price levels for all of these. All right, so first and foremost, Bitcoin, of course. What is that level that I'm looking at? It's this level here. This is an order block. This order block here triggered this whole massive run. We're talking about a run on about, like to the top, we're talking about 56% on Bitcoin. That's a lot. But just to that first order block, it's almost 30%, 27, 28%. Now, that's a super strong order block, and those can't be ignored. Like, no matter what happens, even if Bitcoin wants to go to zero, when it hits this order block, it will react. So you will get a bounce. So you can at least take some profits if you're trading it. If you're DCAing, you're just DCAing in slowly but surely all the way. And by the way, for everybody that asked me, is it time to buy now? If you're DCAing, it's definitely time to buy. If you're day trading it, you do whatever you got to do, follow our signals. I'm actually short on Solana right now. Wanted to short BTC, but I think Solana is going to drop more. But if you leverage trading, be careful and don't go in any longs right now, because I think we're going much further. So my target for BTC on this whole liquidation event that we are seeing right now, and on this bear market that we are in right now, this temporary bear market. I'm not talking about this the macro picture here, because when we're looking at that, we are in a very clear uptrend. So in this temporary bear market and in this bullish flag that we have created here, that is an accumulation pattern, I think we are going to hit at least 69K, so the top of this order block that I've talked about, but I think that we can come all the way down to about 66, 67K. That's my target. If we come to that level, I'm throwing in everything. Even if we go a little bit lower, here's where I'm throwing in everything, and I will just have to live with having some red numbers down here until we bounce up. I don't think we're going lower. I'm very convinced that this is the bottom, because it will be very hard for the market to press below all these orders that are laying here and resting here, because this is massive. Like, all of this here is just a massive order block, and that creates super strong support. The more clutter you see, the lower down we go into this order block, the harder it gets for the market to dig into it. All right, so 67 is my bottom for this correction, but I will start to open buy positions already at 69K. And when market turns bullish, my price target for that pump will be about 120 BTC at least, which means that altcoins will rip. That is when I will see, or when I want to see and believe that we will see, the BTC domination go down, all right? Because what will happen is BTC will push back up to 100K, but now finally we have what the altcoins need. They need the money printer to go brrr. We need the QE. And the first step to QE, what is that? It's rate cuts. And when we're getting these rate cuts now, JP Morgan now called for earlier rate cuts. So people think May. I think we might get it even earlier. I think we might get emergency rate cuts now. That will send altcoins fly in to the moon, and not even to the moon. They will bounce off the moon and go to the Mars and Jupiter. This is what altcoins need to get started. So I think this whole altcoin domination, or BTC domination, that we see here will turn very, very soon. And once BTC starts to rip up, it will go up in price, but you will see this thing here actually shift, because altcoins will gain much more than BTC will. And speaking of altcoins, let's talk about these major ones that everybody's looking at. So we have price targets on those as well. So let's start with Ethereum. When it comes to ETH, I don't think we're going much lower. We have a very, very strong order block down here. All right. So exactly at the 88.6 Fibonacci retracement level. A lot of people are calling a sub $1,000 for one Ethereum. I don't think so. I think we're going to hit this order block here, maybe sweep some liquidity just below it. And that's basically it. So we're talking about 1,200, 1,150, something like that. That is it. That is the bottom for me on Ethereum. After that, I think we actually go into all-time high. So 4K, 5K. I think we're going to rip through it, and it's going to be fantastic for the crypto markets because Ethereum has been sleeping. And once Ethereum starts to rip, that is another confirmation and signal for the altcoins that now it's like free market. Now you can run. All right, next top G on the crypto markets is XRP, of course, our beloved XRP. And I see XRP like it's very clear here. I've marked it up very clearly. We have a very strong order block here and test of structure. I can see it actually bounce off this top level here. So we're talking about $1.4, $1.41 for one XRP. That is the bounce off level that I see. And the absolute bottom for me on this correction would be at about $1.2 for one XRP. From there, I believe we are going to take out all-time high, and that means I'm aiming at about $5.5. That is when I will start DCAing out probably from XRP. And I will, of course, let you know in the Telegram channel when I start DCAing out. So if you're in it, make sure you join it. The link is in the description box below. Everything is for free. We drop alpha on the markets every single day. We share all our analysis first there. Next one on the list is Solana. And as you see, this chart is very messy, so I have to clean it up. Why is it so messy? Because I just call out a trade that is running in profit right now. Let's see how it goes. So I don't want to mess this chart up, so I'm going to open another chart with Solana. And then we see this here. And I've said it before. I think Solana is coming down to about 80. I think it was $88 that I said. Let's see. I'm looking at the fib level because we have some confluence between the fib level and this order block right here. So we're talking about $75 for one Solana. That is how far I think actually Solana can drop in this correction, but that is like worst case scenario that I see. I think that we will come to sweep this liquidity here, and we're talking about $80 to $85 for one Solana. That is the bottom that I see. And the top that I see for Solana, when this thing starts to rip, Solana will rip hard, all right? So I see a minimum $650, $750 for one Solana. So we're talking about like 7x from current price. And from the $80, we're talking about, yeah, almost 10x. Next one on the list is one of my favorites for this bull run, and that's Cardano. I think Cardano is everything laid out to become a monster this bull run. I really think it's going to be a monster. It's not because of hyper popularity. Actually, it's the opposite, but it's because institutions, governments are looking hard at Solana, and they really want to adapt Solana's blockchain, layer 1 blockchain, on for their infrastructure to build on top of Cardano, because Cardano is one of the most decentralized, secure blockchains that is out there compared to Ethereum, but it's much, much faster and definitely lower fees to transact. So ADA has everything for it to rip. But before that, we have to see more pain. And I can actually see ADA coming down all the way to this order block here. This is a massively strong order block. You see what it did. You see this whole impulse move. I can see Cardano easily coming down to $0.37. But I will start buying in already from $0.45. Okay, 0.457, let's say $0.46, just to be safe here, conservative. So $0.46 is where I will start to DCAing in. I see the bottom at 0.298. Now price target, of course, all-time high. I see $3-4 for Cardano, so 8, 9, 10x from here. Beautiful run. And that is for all these price targets I'm talking about is for this run that will come. Then there will be more runs. There will be corrections, and then there will be more runs. But this is for this bull run that we are talking about now, that we're looking at right now. Next one on the list is SUI. SUI, I will start DCAing into it already from 1.45, but I think it can come down all the way to $1 to test that $1 mark, all right? So from 1.45 down to $1 is where I'm DCAing into this. And it's the same thing for SUI. Once this starts to rip, it it will melt faces. And my price target for SUI is at minimum $10. So I think if you get it for $1, oh my God, you've gotten a major gem on major discount. It doesn't get better than this. And we're talking about a nice blue chip token. All right, guys, so now you know what I believe is the bottom for this correction or this crash or whatever you want to call it. What the bull targets is once we start to rip. And I personally, like I said, believe that we will start to rip between 1 to 3 weeks. So it will be either now during April or at the start of May. Let's see, because we still need one more correction. We still need to go down to those levels that I spoke on. We're not there yet. Keep your eyes on the stock markets also, because when NAS and S&P 500 drop, most often, most likely, BTC and crypto will drop. But once it turns, it also turns. And here's the thing, we can either get a slow death, which we probably would have received with Biden, just stalling this and pretending like the economy is good and everything is good, or we can get what Trump just did now. He forcefully crashed the market on purpose to rip the bandage off so we can quickly turn this thing around and see stuff starting to pump again. And those that win, those that will prevail through this market turbulences, are the patient, analytic ones that don't react impulsively. All right, keep your emotions under control. If you're getting over emotional on this pullback, it means you are overexposed into the market. So be careful with that as well. Keep your risk management, very important. But with that said, don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel if you got value out of this video. We highly appreciate that. We also need that boost on the YouTube algorithm so we can grow and do more videos like this for you. I would love to do this on a daily basis. By the way, there will be a lot of live streams this week, so make sure you have the notification bell on so you know when we're going live and trading, because when we go live, we trade live. And this is what will happen this week. I will have these marathon streams where you see my BitNix trading screen. So you see the trades that I take on BitNix, and you can take the same trades on BitNix. By the way, use the link in the description box below. You have up to $5,500 US in sign-up bonus. But with that said, have a beautiful week, have a beautiful day, trade safe, and I will see you at the top, because you know the bottom is way too crowded. Peace.